Hello, everyone. Good morning or good afternoon if you're in the Eastern time zone or somewhere else around the world. I'm so glad you're tuning in today, and I'm excited to craft with all of you. I'm going to give people a few seconds here to hop on before I get into my kind of introduction and what we're going to be up to today. I have the thumbs up from Whitney over there. It looks like we are live.
Woohoo!
Everyone can see me. I am in the right place, which is always just a sigh of relief for anyone else who has ever done a YouTube or Facebook Live. You know, you just cross your fingers and say a little prayer and hope that everything goes well. So it looks to be in the right place at the right time with the right people. So
Yay!
Hooray! Welcome again. I'm super excited to craft along with you, like I said. And if I have not been introduced to you before, then I want to introduce myself. So my name is Taylor. I'm the owner and creative director at Tailored Expressions. And creative director is just a fancy way of saying that I get to make pretty products and then I get to play with them to make pretty things. So I definitely have my dream job. I love what I do. I love connecting with the craft community and I love creating. So I am especially excited to be here to do that with you guys today. Tailored Expressions is located in Ankeny, Iowa. So if you're ever coming through this area, we would love to see you. We have a retail space. You got to see a little bit of that if you watched the intro video before I came live this morning. It is we haven't quite been in our space for a year yet. So we built our own building to bring all of our kind of different parts of our operation under one roof. And we are loving being together. We have increased our efficiencies. Orders are going out even faster than they used to. So all exciting things. As we come into this fall, we are celebrating our 15th birthday at Tailored Expressions. I can't believe how fast it went by in the blink of an eye. I'm sure those of you who have kids and grandkids feel the same way as school is starting, and we're all, can't believe my oldest is a 6th grader this year, and my business is 15 years old, and we won't talk about how old that makes me. But yes, we are excited for all of those things coming up, and I hope that you guys will tune in. September marks our 15th birthday. We will be kicking off that birthday celebration after Labor Day, and so definitely come like us on Facebook and follow us over there or here on YouTube as well. So speaking of following us, we do live videos as well. Every week I am live on the Tailored Expressions YouTube and Facebook pages on Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Central Time, and we are typically releasing new product every Tuesday. So there's always something fun in store for you if you want to tune in to our lives. We also have other team members, other designers who do lives on Thursdays at 10 a.m. So those are the two times you can find us live on YouTube and Facebook, so mark your calendar for those too. Okay, we're almost there. I want to introduce you to the giggle in the background, and her name is Whitney. Everybody say hi.
I'm so excited.
Yes, she is in a previous life was a cheerleader, and so now she is the cheerleader for me at Tailored Expressions and for Director of Cheer. If that was the title here at TE, that is what she would be. But she keeps me in good order, and we have lots of fun together. So you will hear her kind of commenting along and hopefully reading some of your comments, because actually I can't see them on my screen. So she's got them on her screen. And can you tell me, do we have people watching?
Yes.
Who's here today?
Amrita's here, Debbie's
Yay.
here, Mindy's here.
Oh, hi ladies.
Everybody's so excited. It's cheers to 15 years, TE.
Oh yes, cheers to 15 years. I love it. Maybe that will be our banner wording.
Slogan.
I love it. Our slogan for the 15th birthday. Thank you to whoever just came up with that.
Thank you for those.
Oh, all right. Well, glad you're here. Today, we are just so grateful to SCT to be joining on their page for their partnership month, and just so grateful to be partnering with SCT. Such a great place to find inspiration from so many of the amazing companies in the industry. And So this is a fun time for all of you this month, as you've gotten to see lives from lots of different companies and you have a chance to win prizes. So today I'm going to be talking about our new Halloween release. So a couple weeks ago we released Halloween products and I'm going to be using some of my favorites today. And if you're interested in winning a prize, you can head to the SCT blog and you can leave a comment there and be entered to win a $50 gift card to Tailored Expressions. And then you can buy whatever it is your heart desires, whether it's from our new Halloween collection or anything else that we have in our shop. So definitely do that. I know we love winners, right?
We do.
Okay, so should we get started? I'm gonna move you guys down to my other screen so you can start to see some of the things we're gonna be working with today. And these are part of our newest Halloween collection. This is called If You Dare, and it was illustrated by one of our designers, and she does a lot of product design for us as well as card design. Her name is Heather Nichols. I'm sure many of you who have been in the industry for a long time have met or know Heather. But when we kind of brainstormed the Halloween theme, we came up with this fun idea to do potion bottles. And I love potion bottles for Halloween. It gives that kind of fun and spooky feel, but also, can't you just picture these for Valentine's Day? Maybe pop a few hearts in the background, put some hearts in the little potions inside the bottles, and you've got yourself a little love potion number 9 kind of card going on. So this is called If You Dare, and one of the products we are known for at Tailored Expressions is stamp and stencil combos. So that's where we have a background stamp that creates a pattern, and then we have several layering stencils that go along with it to add different colors to the pattern. In this case, it's a background stamp with 4 stencil layers to give you all those different colored potions, and of course you can't forget the little corks in the top as well. If I turn it over here, you can see how that looks on the back, where you start with the stamp, and we'll be doing this today so you'll get an idea of just how this product works. Then we will also, actually we won't be using this on the live, but we also released the If You Dare cutting plate. So this is an entire cutting plate. Our cutting plates are sized at A2 card size, and this one is designed to cut out all of those stenciled potion bottles. So once you have stenciled them, if you want to use them separately, you can die cut them and put them in different scenes. So then continuing on, we couldn't just leave the potion bottle shaker out of the mix. So we have this potion bottle die and clear combo that allows you to create a fun shaker element with the potion bottle theme. And there are different things you can put inside of it. You can create your own eyeballs. There are little clear veining stamps so that you can add kind of the spooky veined eyeballs into your potion bottle shaker. You have bones and stars, of course, tons of different sequin mixes that you can put inside potion bottles as well. So let me show you a sample using this potion bottle shaker, since we're not going to actually use this one on the live today. However, this card is on the blog, so you can take a look at it there. But that potion bottle does take up a good portion of the card front. And you can see I've got the eyeballs. I glued those down into the background, and then my little star sequins are shaking around on the inside of the potion bottle. Super fun.
Everyone's loving the potion bottle shaker.
Yay.
Yes, they said these remind me of Harry Potter.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
That's fun, for sure. Okay, then I wanted to show you, like I mentioned, we won't be using the If You Dare cutting plate. However, I wanted to show you what you could create if you were to cut out those potion bottles. So this is sort of, potion bottles on shelves. So if you wanted to create maybe a witch's cave where she's got her potions all laid out, we have a happy Halloween sentiment and some spiders with spider webs in the background. So lots of fun different ways you can cut these out and arrange them together to create cards as well. This one is mini slim sized. So at TE, we are also known for mini slim products. And so this one on the left is an A2 card, and on the right side is mini slim. And the measurement of that is 3.5 by 6. So if you're not familiar with mini slim, it's just a little bit different, a little taller, a little thinner size. Still goes in a regular envelope for mailing. So no extra postage required there. Okay, should we get to the card we're gonna create then?
Yes!
Yay! Okay, so this uses the If You Dare stamp and stencil combo. And this time, with this particular project, we're just gonna keep all of these details in the background as a piece, almost like a piece of pattern paper that we have created in the colors we wanted with the different inks. And you know, the world is your oyster. You can do it in whatever color combination you want. So that's what makes these really fun. Let me grab first the background stamp. So the background stamp looks like this, and we're gonna set that up in the Misty. I have my exclusive Tailored Expressions Teal Misty. So I know we all have probably multiples of a Misty or some kind of stamp alignment tool in our collection. How many do we have, Whitney? About 18, 25?
A girl never shares the size of her craft stash.
Yes.
Okay, I learned that very quickly.
Okay, so I've got a piece of A2 size cardstock that I've placed down inside. This is our Misty grid kind of insert, I guess, Misty grid paper that fits inside here and has the squares on it for easy alignment. Then we're gonna just place this centered. I am going to end up cutting the design out at the end, so it doesn't really matter if it's super straight or perfectly centered. And then I'm going to use Oreo ink to stamp the potion bottles. I have my Don't Stress, Just Press tool that I can press across the lid of my Misty to get good pressure. That has been one of my favorite things. I don't know about all of you, but I can't tell you how many times I've struggled just trying to rub my palm across my Misty, and this is nice and smooth and easy.
Plus it's Friday, so no stressing on Friday.
That's true. It's Friday.
Woohoo!
Hooray! We have a block party going on this weekend, and everybody found out in my new neighborhood. We've only lived there for a couple months, but they know who the craft lady is already. So I'm in charge of the craft table this weekend. Should be fun. Okay, so here we have that background that's stamped with those potion bottles. It doesn't look anything super special at the moment, but that's what the stencil layers are for. So let me pull in the first stencil layer, which are the little corks that come out the top of the bottles. And also on these stencils, if I can hit the light with it correctly, you can see the etched alignment guides on the stencil, and those will line up. You can see each potion bottle has an etching on it. So that is what's gonna line up on your stamped image. I am going to tack down my paper to my placemat as well, so it will stay in the right spot. Oh no, that's not what I was gonna do. I wanna blend on my glass mat. I do love the feeling of blending across a glass surface. It's just so smooth. And you can also kind of reuse your ink off of the glass surface since it doesn't dry on it like it does on paper, so you're not wasting as much ink. Also a great feature of a glass board, and it cleans up super easy. So I am gonna need my alcohol cleaning solution at the end of this. Okay, so I'm lining up those etched alignment guides. You can also just visually place these, but it does help with those alignment guides to make sure that your corks on your potion bottles don't get up too high or too low, because then your die cut will not work around the outside edges if you do choose to die cut these. I'm using teal tape. This is a Tailored Expressions product, and I love to use this to tack down my stencil, not going anywhere. Now we're going to start with candy corn. Oh no, we're not. We're going to start with toffee ink for these cork pieces. I have my bitty blender brush, and I love my ink stand. Another tool that I just couldn't live without. I don't know how many years I chased ink pads around my table before I before I got one of these handy dandy tools. I think the best craft products are born out of a problem, and this definitely solves a problem. Same with the blender brushes. They solved the problem of uneven blending, kind of difficulty with splotchiness, and now we get these beautiful blends with our full-size and bitty blender brushes, and a new blender brush coming to the Tailored Expressions family. You heard it here first.
Okay. Karina says she loves the combination of stamps and stencils. There's so many more options, like so much more options.
Yes, it's endless variety. Okay, so we are going to go with layer 2. So I was talking about the etch lines, which you will see on these. You can also use the openings to line up inside of the potion bottles, but you do want to make sure that you're paying attention to the etched item number in the bottom right corner. So some of our stencils, it actually does make a difference to go in the correct order, and others, it really doesn't make a difference. So this is one of those stencils that it doesn't really matter what order you go in, but I wanted to point out the item numbering system anyway, so you can be on the lookout for that if you do have other layering stencils from TE. Okay, this time we're gonna do orange. I have candy corn. I think those of you who are familiar with Tailored Expressions, maybe don't answer this question if you know the answer. But as you watch the live today, I wanna know what all of our ink colors have in common. It's kind of fun. And a lot of times when I'm stamping, if I haven't eaten proper snacks throughout the day, I get hungry just looking at our inks. So there's your hint.
Plus, candy corn goes well with Halloween.
It does. I know. One of our other oranges is called pumpkin. So that's another orange color in our collection. Both great for Halloween. So I have my large orange blender brush to go across this entire piece, and then something that I do often is add dimension to my stencil blending using bitty blender brushes. So I'm going to grab a slightly darker orange color, and that is sweet potato pie, and my bitty blender brush, and I'm going to hit this with just a little bit of the darker shade of orange toward the bottom of each of the potion bottles. So that's going to give me a little bit more dimension and movement than just blending with one color. Now, if you don't have colors, you don't have two colors of the same family in a light and a dark, you can do this by blending light-handed and then coming in with a heavier hand of the same color to get that dimension.
Roz figured it out first. She said,
She did.
Yep, they're all food related.
They sure are. Everything is a food or a drink. And I always like to say that blues are the hardest foods to name. You have blueberry. And then other than that, there aren't a lot of blue foods. We have, what do we have? We have blueberry, and then we have blue corn. And then they go in the kind of nebulous, could be anything food naming.
Right?
Which,
oh, what was the new one that we just got?
We have
Snow cone and cotton
snow
candy.
cone, cotton candy.
Those are my faves of the blues.
Okay, I'm
People
getting
are
this one
saying
in
they
place
love
here.
TE inks. So hooray, we're so happy you love
Yay.
them. We love them too.
Naming them is one of my favorite things. And, not only inks, but we do have matching cardstock for the majority of our inks. We have had some, I think everyone is well aware of kind of the challenges the cardstock industry is facing through the pandemic, actually beyond the pandemic now. And so we do have some colors that don't have a matching cardstock, but I think they're less than 5 colors. So yes, the majority of our 60 plus color collection has a matching cardstock. This is one of our newer colors that I've been using a lot for Halloween. It's called Kiwi, and it's kind of that bright yellowish orange, I would say, or yellowish green. I don't know where I got orange from.
Yellowish orange.
Just sometimes words just come out and you're not really sure why. Okay, so there's Kiwi. That's the lighter shade, and then we're going to do the same thing we did with the last layer, and we're going to put a darker shade at the base of all of, kind of the bottom of all of the potion bottles. So I've taken my bitty blender brush and I have lime zest ink. I'm just going to blend up from the bottom here and add some of that dual colored look, and it really does add a lot to your project when you do this. It doesn't take a ton of extra time. Has anybody seen Halloween candy out yet? I have not been to a store recently. I feel like Target pickup has been my friend lately, and so I haven't actually been in a store to see that.
Sam's Club has all their candy out.
Do they?
Oh yeah. And I've heard that candy corn is out, which is like my favorite thing ever. So I'm just going to go buy a huge bag.
We're going to have to get some of that around here. I know candy corn is one of those polarizing candies that you either love it or you hate it. I'm on the love it side of that discussion. And I love the pumpkin candy corns.
Mm-hmm.
The marshmallow pumpkins, I think they call them, or something like that. Yes. I do try not to buy candy this early because we all know what happens to it if we buy it too early. Or is that just me? No. Okay, so this last and final color, I mentioned this before as we were blending one of the previous layers. If you only have one color and you don't have two shades, a light and a dark, that will work, then you can get by with one by blending very light-handedly with the ink and then taking your bitty blender brush and giving it a little bit more pressure, a little bit more ink to give you the dimension in that same color. So that's what I'm going to do with passion fruit. It's kind of a unique color at TE, so we don't have really a light and a dark that go together. So what I'm doing is just lightly blending across the stencil first. You can see I started off on the side of my mat here, and that's because this is a pretty intense and dark color on its own when you first bring it to paper. And so by kind of putting that ink off onto the side, I'm actually going to move my ink pad here so I can use this area at the top here that we call our color catcher. And you can kind of get your ink off of your brush, the most intense pieces or bits of ink that first come off of your brush. And then you can reuse that ink over and over until it's gone. Whereas when you swipe onto your placemat, that ink is absorbed into the paper and you can't come back and grab more of it. So just another one of the things that I love about using my glass mat. I haven't really talked much about the details of this. Our glass mat is 9 by 12, so it's a great kind of small surface for your desktop. Easy to clean. Oh, I don't want to close that up because we're going to use that with the bitty blender brush then.
And it has an adorable case to go with it.
Oh, we do.
Take it on the go.
I love it.
I love it too.
Do we have that around here?
Yes, let me get it because I love it so much.
It makes me happy. It is a neoprene case that gives your, just protects your glass board if you want to store it in that, or if you want to take it to your next stamp party or get together. It fits.
And it's got a rainbow.
And it's rainbow. And it's teal. Both of my favorite things, teal and rainbow.
Okay,
All
I don't
right.
think you've ever tried this candy before. Someone said pumpkin peeps. Have you tried that? Because you like peeps.
I do like Peeps. Another polarizing candy, I feel like. You either love it or you hate it. And I have known some Peep haters through the years.
What?
I like to freeze my Peeps. Is that weird? Then they're almost like stale marshmallows, which I don't.
Weird.
I know it is kind of odd. I don't really typically like stale marshmallows, but I like my Peeps in the freezer. So, okay, I'm gonna have to try pumpkin Peeps this year. So before we take this layer of the stencil off, we're gonna do something fun, and we're gonna add a paste. So we have our Happy Medium iridescent glitter. Our glitter pastes come in many different colors, but this one is clear. So whatever color you're applying it over the top of is going to show through underneath your glittery paste. So I'm gonna just uncap that. I love my Nuvo Media spatula. It's silicone, so it cleans up easily, and it's super flexible, so it makes it easy to apply. And I'm just gonna spread that paste down the card. I wanna get a nice even coat. You'll notice that I try to go in one direction while I am spreading the paste. I go from top to bottom and kind of pull that paste down. That gives me a nice smooth application, and it also helps the medium not to get under my stencil. So when you tend to do what I call like frosting a cake and you're spreading it more like this, you're more likely to get under the edges of your stencil. I'm going to hand this off to Whitney so that my paste doesn't dry on my stencil. You do want to definitely wash your stencil off right away, because if it does dry on there, it is hard to get it off. I have scrubbed with a toothbrush on the occasion where I have forgotten to wash my stencil. But let me pull this off, hand that off to you. And let's take a close look at this. This is the best part, the big reveal of the pretty stenciled background, almost like your own pattern paper with sparkle on it. And it's going to be super fun to create this into a card. Now, I did have the forethought today to create an extra one of these and let it dry ahead of time. So I'm actually going to pull in this version that I created this morning, and it's completely dry. So we can continue with our card, but that paste does take about 10 to 15 minutes to dry completely. So you'll have to kind of take a pause in your crafting while you wait for it to dry. I am also going to show you, I'm going to wash my glass mat here, and I just have a Nuvo spray bottle that I spray onto the surface. It's filled with 90% isopropyl alcohol, which is an awesome way to clean your stencils and your glass mat. Maybe I have a stencil here that I can kind of show you too. So no need to even go to a sink. Simply spritz it with some alcohol, take your cleaning cloth, a microfiber cloth, and wipe over the top. Lift it up and wipe underneath, and I can tell you the surface is already dry. So you could use this again right away without having to pat it with a paper towel or dry it with your cloth. It just dries so fast because the alcohol evaporates into the air so much more quickly than water. So a great way to kind of clean your stencils, especially when you want to be moving on to the next project quickly. Okay, so that part is finished. I'm going to pull in my die cut machine here, and we are going to take the dried panel. I better set aside this wet one or I'm going to accidentally grab it and mess it up. I have one of our A2 layer stacklets here, and after I have stenciled the entire pattern, I love these die sets that have all the different sizes in them, because then I can easily center my design and make sure that I get the perfect parts. Now, if you had a little part that you messed up on or a part that you don't like as well, you can easily shift your die around to try to put that maybe in a spot where a sentiment will cover it, or maybe you can kind of get it off of the edge of the die cut portion. So let's send this through.
They said great tip for cleaning stencils in the glass mat.
Yes. Oh, I forgot to show the thing. I talked about it. Okay, here's silly me. I see this sitting here, and I forgot to show you the cute little sleeve. So this is the glass mat sleeve. Now that I've cleaned it, I can store it right back in the case here. It just kind of opens up and you stretch it around so it's nice and snug. And then you can pull the top over just like this. And then you can store that. Yes. Now you don't have to worry about it when you're traveling or when it's just stored in your cupboard until you use it the next time. I do have to admit that I don't store mine. I keep it out all the time because I use it a lot. But if you don't have a lot of space or you need to put it away between uses, then that is a great option, especially for traveling too. Okay, so something I also did ahead of the live today, I went ahead and embossed this sentiment set. So this is called Simple Strips Halloween. I embossed it with white embossing powder onto our black licorice cardstock. It is a super intense black. So we also have a color called Oreo, which is not quite as black. When you put it up against the black licorice, it looks like a very dark gray almost, but that is just how intense this black licorice is, and I have been loving it. So that's what this is embossed on, and I'm gonna die cut it with our Simple Strips die here. This is our new Simple Strips straight edge. So originally our Simple Strips came out with flagged ends, and we just now added to our collection the straight edge die, where it will cut just that blunt edge on each of these, and they work with all of the Simple Strips stamps. So let me line up my alignment squares, and then I'm going to tack this down with Scotch removable tape. My personal favorite for die cutting, never rips your paper. And then you're going to hear the sound of Simple Strips. That's what I call it.
Can you talk about TE cardstock? Is it solid core or is it white core?
Yes, TE cardstock is all 100 pound and it's solid core cardstock. So really nice heavy weight. We do also have in some of our popular kind of card base colors, like Sugar Cube is our white, and then Toffee is our craft color. We do have pre-cut pieces that are 130 pound cardstock. So you get a nice thick sturdy piece if you like something even that heavyweight. But the majority of all of our colors, those are all going to be the 100 pound solid core cardstock. Good question. Okay, so I think our die cutting is complete now. We've poked out all of those sentiments. We have our glittered background piece here. You can see that Scotch removable that I put right over the top of my stencil design. No problems just peeling that off. And you can reuse these pieces of tape too. So I just kind of stick them to the handle of my die cut machine and use them over and over until they lose their tackiness. Okay, so we have a piece of black licorice cardstock that's going to go right behind this layer. Again, I cut that with my A2 layer stacklets, which was able to get me the perfect 1/16 inch border all the way around the outside of this layer. Another reason why I love those A2 and additional A2 layer stacklets is you get the perfected border that is just kind of difficult to get with a paper trimmer. If I'm being honest, sometimes I struggle with my paper trimmer. Okay. So there's that.
People love the Simple Strips. So easy to cut all of those at once.
Yes, I love our Simple Strips collection. There's another look at that one. This one is kind of fun and different too because these are all different fonts on these sentiments. So some of our strips all have like the same font. I'm going to use my 1x3 foam strips to adhere this panel down to the card base then. This is another one of my favorite things that we have at Tailored Expressions. I know this looks like a gigantic roll, but trust me, I've already been through, I think this is my third one.
Yes.
And we just released this not too long ago, maybe, I don't know, 3-4 months ago. Time goes by really fast, so I say that, and then I'm like, I don't know, has it been a year? I'm not sure. But it hasn't been too long ago that we released this. And these are pre-cut 1x3 inch foam strips, and they're great for adhering these background panels. You can just give it some nice, sturdy dimension. Your middle is not going to sag. Some days my middle sags, but not the middle of my cards. No, no.
Not my cards.
We also have, this is the regular thickness, so 1/16 inch thickness is our kind of regular. And then if you want thin, you can also get the thin, which is 1/32 thickness. And that's great if you have maybe a post office that's a little pickier on the thickness of your cards that you mail, or if you want to avoid having to pay those extra hand cancel fees, then you can grab the thin foam strips and they just give it that little bit of extra pop. So there we have our background adhered, and I'm going to bring in my strips and kind of decide which ones we're going to put on there. Merry Scary Season, I like that one. Hey Ghoul Friend, You're Spooktacular, Merry Scary Season. I think I like those. We'll put those three together. I'm kind of staggering them, figuring out exactly where I want to put them. And then we'll go ahead with the foam sticky strips to adhere these to the card. And these are a little bit thicker, originally designed for shaker cards, so they have some dimension to them. They are 1/8 inch thickness, and I'm just gonna put that down here. There's one. Come on, nails, pick up the things.
Everyone's talking about the foam roll. It's a big roll, but it is the best roll. They say they love that. They've never seen that before, and it's genius.
Yes, when we started carrying that, bringing that in, I was just so tickled. Never too much foam tape, you know, in my book. Okay, so let's get these down about where they were before. And then, okay, feel good about that. We're almost there, you guys.
Looking so cute.
Super cute. Okay, last thing. I can't leave without a little bling. That rhymed. Last thing, can't leave without the bling. So we have our Bits and Pieces Cosmic Drip Drops. Love these for Halloween. Can you guys see if it catches the light? These are black drip drops. They are a raised, non-adhesive backed embellishment, kind of like a little dewdrop. But these happen to be iridescent black. So when they catch the light, you can see they are purple, they are yellow, they are green, they are black. They are all the colors of Halloween, which is why I love to use them and find that I use them most around Halloween. So I'm going to start just taking a few of these out and dropping them into the background. You could even put them inside the little potion bottles. I think I'm going to stick to keeping them within the background here. spreading them out across my panel. And then I have some exciting news to finish with today. I know, Whitney's gasping, probably because she doesn't quite yet know what I'm going to say.
I know.
Oh, I'm scared. What is it?
What's happening?
Okay, maybe a little one here, and then we'll go here. Sometimes you fuss with these little embellishments for way longer than they deserve. Okay, I'm feeling pretty good about that. So I like to place my embellishments before I actually adhere them. And then I have my little Embelly Jelly pick and place tool. I know this is probably kind of an old school tool. I also have a crystal katana, which I love, but this thing, it's just like, it's a workhorse. It keeps going and going and going. It never really loses its stickiness. And when it does, you just take this little bit of sticky off of the wooden handle, and then you meld a new one and put it on there. You probably have enough sticky to last you your whole crafty lifetime. And it is called Embelly Jelly. So when I just pick up my embellishment with the tool, then I can put my little drop of glue down and then place it back on top. So this was the exciting thing I wanted to show you guys. How many of you have seen this released from My Sweet Petunia earlier this week, I believe? Maybe It was last week. I can't keep the week straight, but it was recently, and I jumped and got my own. We actually have brought it into the Tailored Expressions store as well because I loved it so much. It's like a caulking gun for your Nuvo glue, and it is super easy to kind of press on this handle to squeeze the glue out. So the squeezing mechanism is up here, and it pushes down on the glue bottle, and the glue comes out of the precision tip as you press it, just like this. So you can get as thin a line as you want, or you can put that all over the back of your card base if you need to adhere down to your card panel. But I'm just loving it, and so it is now available as of yesterday at Tailored Expressions. So I'm just gonna pick up my little drop, and I'm gonna put down a drop at the same time and let that embellishment fall right back onto my dot of glue.
Such a great invention.
So great, especially, I mean, I don't yet have kind of arthritic hands or any kind of issues, but it's still just so simple. And I think one of my favorite parts about it, you guys, if you know me already, you probably know that I forget to cap my glue all the time. And so Susan, who works here with me and crafts along with me, she's always recapping my glue. So I'm sure this invention is more for her than for me. But this cool thing down in the bottom is a little piece of silicone so that your precision tip just rests right on the silicone, which traps the air from getting inside your tip, and you don't actually have to put the cap on. You just have to make sure you put it back in the glue bottle rest, which I can handle. I can handle putting it back in the rest. Actually, I'll report back on that, but I think I can handle putting it back in the glue rest. So there we have it. Let me pick this up and show you guys. Look at that fun card. It's got sparkle, it's got embossing, we have embellishments and bling. So hopefully you had fun creating along with me. I'm gonna get you back here so I can say a proper farewell. Whitney, let me know if anybody had any kind of last minute comments or questions.
Just loving the card. They said they love that extra glitz on there.
Oh, good. Okay, well, I had fun creating with all of you today, and thank you again to SCT for having me. Don't forget to check out the blog post so you can win that $50 gift card to the Tailored Expressions store, and I hope to see you again on a live soon. All right, everybody, have a wonderful Friday and a great weekend ahead.